Hello and welcome to the movie podcast. My name is Shahbaz and I am joined by my two other really handsome, really funny co-hosts, Daniel and Anthony. Daniel, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. It's lovely to be here talking with you today in person on this lovely Sunday morning.
You went like radio announcer on me there for a second. Like you went really like you weren't sure what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And then I think you found it at the end. You're like, no, I'm going to announce something.
Shay, listen, I'm always sure what I'm going to do. Even when I'm not sure, I'm sure I'm not going to be sure.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool.
Just keep that in mind. Don't keep it in mind.
You know what? I already lost it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anthony, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I don't have a radio announcer voice today or ever. So this is me being here and enjoying our time together.
100%.
Oh, okay. You guys are doing well though. How is everything in your world right now? We're in that getting ready for Christmas. We're getting ready for the holidays.
It sounds like you're saying lyrics to a Christmas song, by the way. We're getting ready for Christmas.
Oh, we should do a Christmas album.
Oh, the movie podcast presents.
Yeah, we should do a Christmas album.
The movie podcast presents Christmas.
Yeah, like we brought Christmas to the villagers.
We did, yeah.
Is that how it worked?
The movie podcast holiday special. I'm telling you, we're going to do one.
We're going to do a holiday.
100%.
Well, I mean, we have done holiday specials before.
We have, yes.
But have we done a Christmas album yet? No, we haven't.
We have not.
What's wrong? Why haven't we done it yet?
Well, I guess a couple questions first. Is this going to be an album of us singing original songs, or are we singing covers of classic Christmas songs?
I think like any good Christmas album, you got to do a bit of both. You got to have some of the classics with some of the newies.
Okay, and some what?
Newies.
Okay, I thought you said nudies.
Well, I mean, if you buy the deluxe edition,
yeah,
you'll definitely get some.
Wait, if this is an album and we're giving nudies, is it just saying I'm naked right now?
No, it'd be like you'd open up the slipcover. It would be like a really classy, and you'd be like, oh, and then you'd keep unfolding.
Here's the mistletoe.
Oh, is that what you call yours too?
No, I call my mistletoes. My feet.
Oh, yeah, you have sharp toes. Yeah. I mean, Anthony, what do you think? Do you think we should do a Christmas album?
Yeah, we should definitely. I'm down for it. I'm all for singing with you guys.
Yeah.
You sound super happy about it right now.
Every week on the show. I mean, we
do.
sing the trailer song.
We do. The trailer song, by the way.
I just pictured the album cover. It's like featuring hits, trailers,
Ka-ching,
and ka-ching, and box office.
There's an interlude where I'm just opening up mail.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the ASMR track.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah,
the movie podcast Christmas.
All right, something's brewing here. I think by the end of this year, we'll have worked out something.
Yeah, that'll be our Christmas card that we sent out this year. Just us all in Christmas sweaters around a fire, and we'll make it like an album cover of us.
Can we be on fire?
Yeah, I was
Can we be on fire?
What kind of
Hopefully
fire
not.
was this?
This was a fireplace.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You said fire as if
I said we'll be by the fire.
Okay.
You know?
Real fireplace.
100%,
Not one of those electric ones.
No, a real one.
Are you like electricist? Like
no.
Is that a word?
Yeah. You hate electricity?
Wait, hold on.
Hold on a second.
Wait a minute. Yeah, is that why you're using an old-timey radio mic right now?
Yeah. You have to keep turning it,
keep grinding it. Yeah.
I also have the thing that you put in the ear so I can hear you guys.
Oh, I like it. Are those just called headphones?
Yeah.
Those old,
like the little like antenna looking, the satellite looking things.
Yeah. The old-timey ones.
Oh, the megaphones.
Let me hear what you're
very like George Jetson. Like, I see it. Okay.
Shay, how are you doing though?
I'm doing great. I was thinking about it this morning, and I was like,
"How am I doing?"
I was like, "How am I doing?" No, I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to drive to the studios to record." I'm like, I'm really not looking forward to the days where I have to drive in snow. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it's almost December. It hasn't really snowed that much.
Why would you say that though?
Well, it did though.
But not enough, and I'm glad. Oh. Sorry, when I say not enough, I mean not enough to really upset me.
You've tempted the gods now.
I definitely have, and
we're gonna get 10 feet of snow tomorrow.
Look, I'm the kind of guy that's okay with snow on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then after that, if it all went away, I would not say nay.
Oh, that's
track 3 right there. That's track 3.
Shahbaz's Christmas.
That's my Def Jam poetry right there. Yeah.
Spoken word track.
We're going to do rap Christmas too.
One of our tracks would definitely be a rap track.
And a trap.
Trap song too?
A trap song?
Oh, okay.
Christmas trap.
Country?
Christmas trap featuring Macaulay Culkin.
Christmas country.
Damn.
Whoa.
Christmas country?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this Christmas.
What else? What other genres? Christmas blues?
Reggaeton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can do
reggaeton. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Bad Bunny featuring Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get a ska Christmas?
A what?
A ska Christmas song?
Are you finishing the word there?
Ska.
I'm just kidding.
What's
Yeah,
ska?
ska.
You don't know ska?
Ska music. It's like that. That didn't really help.
Is that jazz?
No.
There's
ska.
jazz elements to it,
Yeah.
ish.
You know, like when the guitar goes like, boom, doom, 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 doom. It's like really big in like the 2000s and stuff.
It was really
upstrokes only.
Yeah. It just
That
sounds.
also sounds like a band.
Yeah.
It's ska band. Upstrokes only. Upstrokes only. Damn, that's good. I like that. But yeah, ska, Christmas.
Yeah, a lot of
ska.
good genres to have when you are looking at Christmas, because Christmas is for everybody.
What about a Shaggy Christmas? Ah, wow.
Oh, like I think it's Shaggy from Scooby Doo for some reason.
Zoinks.
Zoinks.
We have the rights for that.
We don't.
We don't have the rights to
Please
that.
don't
We're
sue us,
already
Warner
getting
Brothers.
sued.
Yeah.
No, I'm liking this. I think there's somebody out there already designing the album cover for us.
I hope so.
Or I'm putting that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie podcast Christmas album is definitely going to be something in the works.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I hope it happens. But as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes on all the latest movies and series. Make sure you're following us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, 5 stars if you can afford it. But the best part about it is $0 to do so. And while you're there, leave us a comment, because what we love to do on here is read. We love reading. We love reading so much, and reading and shouting out words that have been read is another thing that we love to do.
Okay.
Join our Discord, because our Discord is popping right now. I'd say so.
Is that what the kids say? Poppin'?
Is that what the kids say?
I think they would say. Do we have a question of the week yet?
We will be dropping a question of the week today, so by the time you're listening to this, it's already out there.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
This week's question was provided by Daniel, so
Oh, you're going to use that question?
of course I am.
Oh, I like
yeah,
that
it was
question.
a great question.
What was this week's question?
I haven't said
No,
anything
the
yet.
week prior?
Week prior?
Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember now.
It was something about Christmas, I think, right?
Was it?
No.
No, I don't know. Let me take a look-see here.
And this Christmas.
Because I remember it was something to do.
Oh, I think I just asked everybody how they're doing.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
that's
yes.
a great one. Classic
Yeah,
one.
classic.
Because
Hey
I felt
guys,
like...
how are you?
I just wanted to see, like, get a little,
little
get a little
reset.
test.
I like that.
I always worry about that, like that can lead to so many things. Oh, I'm not doing well. I'm like, now I have to like really.
Now I have to care.
Wait, so if someone's like, I'm feeling sad, you'd be like, oh, fuck this guy. Okay. Oh, yeah, hey, man. What do you want from me?
Chin up, man. Chin up. Chin up.
2 strokes up. Or what was it? Stroke up?
Upstrokes only,
Upstrokes
man.
only. Sorry.
Jesus, man.
Stroke up.
USO.
I'm like, is that not like something from the States?
Yeah.
That's a golf thing.
Yeah.
No, it's the U.S. Open.
Yeah, that's US
Yeah.
Open, yeah. Technically. Yeah, but the USO is like, isn't that like a military thing?
I think so.
I know, but it's also
I believe
upstrokes only.
It's also upstrokes
Yeah,
only.
that's the name of my
USO.
ska band.
You were
Upstrokes
so
only.
quick with that one. I hate
Yeah.
it. No, but I just wanted to see, how our audience is doing, how people in the Discord channel are doing, because you know what? You're right. If someone's having a bad day or someone's feeling kind of down, if we can make any kind of difference, let's do it.
One thing I want to add to that, Shay, because I feel like for so long our show was us three in this room. And now we're in a spot where it's really cool that we have so many friends that we've made by doing the show, by going on these experiences and meeting people and hanging out with people. It's really cool that this happens, and now we have this Discord channel that we can extend that, and it really makes us feel like the movie podcast isn't just a show anymore. It really is like a community, and I really love that. And I think our Discord is so evident of that. So please, if you like what you're hearing, come join us. We have a lot of fun in there.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. No, we're having a great time in there. We're sharing tidbits, behind the scenes stuff. Tidbits and Timbits if you're from Canada.
Sure.
Yeah. Daniel, you and I had a chance we went yesterday to a little Lord of the Rings D&D type situation.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was ballin'.
Oh,
My character name.
I thought you said you were balling. I'm like,
I was ballin'. I was 197.
You actually were.
I thought he said I was balling.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
you
was
actually
balling,
were. You were the oldest character in what we were playing.
Oldest character.
But you were the most useful as well.
Listen, my scanning and my what was the other one that I had really good? Scanning, and
Digging because they're
Not-
good at
No,
digging.
dude, this guy was
creep. It was
old
like
as
scanning
fuck.
and creeping. I don't know. It was something.
I don't know about creeping. I don't think that was it.
It was
like
something.
scanning
I
and
have,
like telling.
I have a picture of my sheet.
I think it was like telling stories that go nowhere.
Yeah. It's interesting though because again I've never played like a game like a D&D or anything
Role
like
playing
that.
games, yeah.
But it was just fun like being in that environment and being like, yeah, let's figure this out. Let's just have a good time and do this. So shout out to our friend Brock for inviting us. And we had some
Absolutely.
other friends who were there as well too.
Yeah, yeah. We had some people in the industry. We had Caboose
Yeah,
from
Caboose, 100%,
YouTube there.
Aaron.
Yeah, great guy. You can also write into the show. And if you have a pen and paper handy, you write down hello@themoviepodcast.ca, then go into your phone and write it again. That way you remember it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That way you remember, but like, oh, what was that email again? Oh, now I remember. And write into us or write to us. Don't write into us.
Yeah, you're like,
That
write
might hurt.
into us.
Write to us and tell us your, wants and desires.
Give us your Christmas wish list.
Yeah, send your Christmas
Oh,
wish
yeah,
list
send
so
your
we could.
Christmas wish list.
What do you want Santa to bring you guys?
Send
this
us what you also wish our album to be called, or
Yeah.
what tracks to have on there. Send us lyrics.
year? A very
help.
merry movie podcast Christmas.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The USO.
But featuring USO.
Featuring USO. Is that our ska band name?
Yeah,
I love
Upstrokes
it.
only.
But check out our show notes for all of that and more. Now, our mailbag a little empty today, but I'm hoping by December we have some mail in that bag.
But you know why it's empty, right?
Tell me.
Because everyone's writing letters to Santa.
Oh, yeah. They don't have time to write
They're,
to us anymore.
they're
right?
not writing. They know
We
who's
should-
going to bring me stuff.
We should intercept some of those letters.
We should,
We should do a heist.
we should do a Christmas heist, a holiday heist, and
Steal some letters.
steal some letters from children. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they're hoping to get.
Oh, this
delivered to
this
Santa.
kid wished for world peace. What
Yeah.
a loser.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Awful.
What a great movie idea! Like a kids movie. Let's
Steal Santa letters?
Santa letters because maybe there was one letter that shouldn't have been sent to Santa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they sent like a
Now
mean,
it's
scathing
intriguing.
letter. Yeah.
Or
and
it could have
they
been like
didn't mean to.
"I'm your son" type of
Oh, okay,
letter.
this went south.
Santa had like
Yeah.
a little.
Now this is a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
It's not a Hallmark movie.
No, but it's funny. Every time there's a Hallmark movie on, and I'm like looking, I'm like, okay, who's Santa in this? Because sometimes you're like, it's the most normal situation, and then at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, that guy was Santa Claus.
Wait,
what
the
hell did that
mailman? The
happen?
mailman was Santa Claus?
Yeah, he was Santa Claus. Yeah.
He smiles.
So I always try and
he
guess. I'm like,
winks,
who's Santa Claus?
little
Yeah.
Star comes out of his eye.
Yeah,
or
you see
something.
like him flying in the sky
like
with
a
his
thing?
reindeer.
Is he screaming? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
like it was me all along.
I was Santa. Get away from me, pervert. Daniel,
Yes. Hello.
do you have any announcements for us?
I do have some announcements
Please
for us, Shahbaz.
ring the bell and tell us what
Listen,
it is.
we have a great week of special guests ahead of us because not only do you get a main episode of the movie podcast this week,
Ooh.
we do have some of the cast of Willow joining us.
Willow.
Willow, which is
Willow I am. Oh, sorry.
no,
That's somebody else.
Willow, which is a brand new series, obviously a sequel to the film from the 80s starring Warwick Davis. So, joining us on the show, we have Ruby Cruz and Tony Revolori, who's going to be on the show on Tuesday, I want to say.
So tomorrow?
So tomorrow, if you're listening to this
Or
on
if
the
you're
day of
listening to this
release.
on Wednesday, yesterday. If you're listening to this on Thursday, 2 days before
Exactly that. So we have them joining us. We had a great conversation with them on the show. The show's great. We're going to talk more about it later on. But yeah, having a great time with that. We're so thankful to our friends at Disney for that. Later this week, we will have our interviews with some of the cast of Darby and the Dead, which is going to be on Hulu if you're in the United States of America, and then on Disney Plus via Star here. I'm just specific.
It was so specific, like in the United States of America,
Yeah.
not South America.
Is it the United States of America or is it just United States of America?
It's United States.
It's United States, yeah,
I
USA.
didn't catch. Was it
United States. of
okay?
America.
United States.
Yeah,
okay.
USA.
I don't know. I'm just.
Okay,
No,
I believe you.
Yeah,
But I don't
believe
think
you.
I wouldn't. I've never heard someone say the United States other than like
Or we say like, oh, it's the states.
other than or someone saying
The
no,
United
we're
States?
the United States.
Yeah,
of
we're the
America.
United. We're. I feel like there's the, but it's the T is in
well,
capitalized.
they'll say it. They'll say like the United States because that's like grammatically
thing
correct.
is,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Yeah.
That's not me pledging it.
None of
Oh,
the states
it
are
felt like you
united.
were.
Zero united.
Yeah,
That's the crazy
Is the
part of
world united though?
It's like literally every state.
But even
is
like
its own
even
country.
our
I'm sorry,
provinces.
American listeners, if you want to put in your input on
Please, yeah.
how
Let's
we
know.
think
Hello,
about the
yeah.
United States.
I want to hear your politics conversations, please.
But yeah,
But yeah, other than that announcements, we do have so we have some of the cast of Darby and the Dead. So stay tuned later in the week for that. Later this week, you'll also be able to hear a review of Violent Night. which is the David Harbour
Night.
Santa Claus movie, which may have a song featured by the movie podcast team.
Oh, what?
And we may be in that movie. We're not, but
We're not, okay.
we can't say definitively until we see it.
That's true, because they
Right?
could have filmed us.
We don't know. We really don't know.
There was that camera crew walking around here.
There was. But also, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been entering in. We've been doing a lot of giveaways.
Oh, yeah.
For movie tickets.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who's been entering those. We have more planned this week. We're going to give away tickets for Empire of Light. So look forward to that on the social network feed. Social network feed? That's weird.
That's weird, yeah. That sounds like you're like a narc.
Yeah, and also we have some Blu-rays to be giving away too in
Yeah.
the holiday spirit. So look forward to all of those because we want
Check
to
your
give some movies away.
stockings.
What about our other interview?
What other interview are you talking about, Anthony?
Wait a minute.
Probably one of our biggest interviews we've ever done.
I think we should tell people. You're right. You know, we were very, very lucky to interview the one and only Alfred Molina.
Whoa.
That
Alfredo Molines.
Alfred? No, that's not his name.
No, that's what I call him.
That's what you call him. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were lucky to talk to him for his new series, which is on Prime Video, Three Pines, which we're really enjoying. Alfred is such an awesome individual, and we'll be releasing this interview either this week or very early next week to get everyone psyched for the show. It's coming out this week. Alfred's amazing. I can't wait to talk about that interview more.
Yeah.
Great interview. Watching you guys just gush with him.
Yeah.
Was so cool.
I'm very excited. We're very excited to share.
I'm in it. That's
Anthony's there too.
Anthony was there.
Mr. Pokeroo showed up.
Mr. Pokeroo.
Is that you?
That's me.
That's him.
Oh.
That's another Canadian reference for you. That's
It
good.
is a Canadian
I like
reference,
that a
yeah.
lot. But yeah, that's all I really got for announcements this week. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about other stuff.
I'll be honest,
eventually.
you went longer than I expected, and
I'm so sorry.
kind of upset now.
I'll throw,
but
the mic's yours.
Yeah, thank you.
We're also sharing one mic today.
we are
No.
sharing.
No, we're not. We're not.
We're just tossing it around. Anthony's still using his old timey one, though.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the news.
You could also hear that track on our Christmas album.
Oh.
It's a very short track.
It's an interlude.
It's just us repeating.
yeah. It's a 5 minute long track. You're just going.
5-minute long track, and it's just different like methods of us
Yeah.
doing like do 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 do.
Was that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
It kind of was.
That's Jingle
Wait,
Bells.
that's
No. I'm just saying that's
Oh.
like there's Jingle Bells. You did Rudolph.
I did Rudolph.
Yeah.
Anthony, which one are you gonna do? That too long. All right. No, if you want to go ahead and do it, you can do it.
No, I'm good.
Do you have a song for us?
No.
And it's like a Christmas.
Anthony's like, what is a Christmas?
Cut my life into pieces. What?
Why?
This is my life.
Need more friends.
No, man.
Why, Billy Talent? All right. The Walt Disney Company Board of Directors has appointed Robert A. Iger as Chief Executive Officer. This is a press release from Disney. The Walt Disney Company traded on the NASDAQ as DIS. So if you're trading out there, please trade away. Announced today that Robert A. Iger is returning to lead Disney as Chief Executive Officer effective immediately.
You said A. Iger. I'm like, who's A. Iger?
A.
I'm like,
Iger.
oh, A. Iger. I got you.
Mr. Iger, who spent more than 4 decades at the company, including 15 years as its CEO, has agreed to serve as Disney's CEO for 2 years, with a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth and to work closely with the board in developing a successor to lead the company at the completion of his term. Mr. Iger succeeds Bob Chapek, who has stepped down from his position. We thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career, including sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just read a long career and I'm like, I guess it was long, but not the way he wanted.
Yeah, but I guess he was at the park side too,
Parkside, right? Yeah. Navigating the company through the unprecedented changes of this pandemic, said Susan Arnold, chairman of the board. The board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period. Mr. Iger has the deep respect of Disney's senior leadership, most of whom he worked closely with until his departure as executive chairman 11 months ago, and he is greatly admired by Disney employees worldwide, all of which allow for a seamless transition of leadership, she said. Now, this news dropped for us here on the Eastern time zone around like 10 o'clock last Sunday. Super out of the blue. Can't say we're too surprised, but like just whoa, left field on a Sunday of all things, right before the trading of the next day starts. Really, Daniel, I gotta get like once this was sent in the chat, what was your immediate reaction?
So I saw this happening, and
Were you in the room?
I wasn't in the room, no, but I did. We got a write-in from the Mighty Ducks Times that says the Chap Attack. The Chap Attack?
Chap, I don't think that's what it means.
Is whack, Zach, something like that. No, but it's wild that we had this news drop the time that we did. Again, it makes sense with the start of the week and the stocks, and we kind of saw where the Disney stocks were going right now. Disney was never better than while under Bob Iger. So someone I'm very excited to see him return. I remember when Chapek first came in, and again, you're coming into difficult times. He came in during 2020, he came into a pandemic, but I remember one of the first big, the first big misfires is what happened with Scarlett Johansson. Remember with Black Widow and everything, right? And we're like, oh, this would have never happened.
Kind of set the tone.
This would have never happened under Bob Iger. And then here we are now, and Bob Iger is very much a creative driven person. He's like he's the reason why Marvel Studios is having the success that it did today.
Right.
He's Kevin Feige. He's like, no, you're reporting to me now. You're not reporting to Marvel anymore. This is your division, and Marvel has thrived for that. Star Wars now too. He negotiated these deals for Lucasfilm. He negotiated these deals for Marvel. He negotiated the deals for Pixar, and he's all about fixing those relationships.
Right.
And when you see the last couple years under the leadership of Chapek, it's been a little bit rocky. Obviously, Disney's been pumping out some great films and shows and everything, but morale, I don't think, has been as high as it's been, right? So I think when we're looking at, course correcting, Iger also, when it was announced, it felt like it was kind of a bomb drop. It didn't feel like there was really a succession plan in place there. Or now, from what we're hearing, it's looking like Bob Iger's going to be coming back for a couple years. He's going to steer the ship. He's going to course correct. And then he's going to appoint someone, or they're going to appoint someone who is going to hopefully learn from him and have the same ideologies as him and steer him in the right direction.
Do we think that Iger stays on beyond the 2 years if necessary, or like maybe he, oh, these shoes fit just like I remember them, and then just starts to continue doing it?
I don't know. I also don't know what reference you were making.
I don't know what reference I was making either.
Sorry, I'm like, is that a Disney film?
No, it's not. It's not. It was just like, let me go British for a second,
right?
And that's it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, this is his second return, like the king can only come back so many times before it's like we need to have someone else steer the ship, because again, people don't live forever. Like Bob Iger also probably wants to retire and spend time with his family, as was his reason for leaving the first time.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Exactly. And and he's lived, and now he's going to be CEO again, so we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm excited though. I'm happy to see him return, because it's been an interesting couple of years under Chippity Chapek.
Chippy chaps. Anthony, what about yourself?
For me, this seems like don't take it out of context. It does seem like a Putin move. Bob Iger never really left Disney. He was always there. And for him to come back, it was like, oh, okay, I'll assign you the prime minister of Disney, but I'll always be president. And Chapek knew that he wasn't going to be the successor for a very long time. I truly believe it. I think Bob Iger put him in a spot where he's like, I'm going to take some time off. I'm still going to be there. I know I'm going to come back, because Bob Iger is a very political person. He might have done all these creative things, but at the end of the day, his methodology is like the politics of. He started off at ABC News. That's his biggest.
Iger, right?
Sorry,
Iger.
Yeah, Iger. Yeah. That's like, politics is a big thing. So I feel like this was a power move in the sense that he was going to come back, and he always knew he was going to come back. And I don't think it's going to just be 2 years. He was being paid $10 million just to be a consul for
a consigliere.
Yeah. And literally, he's now back on top. Why would you come back when you were retired? Like, at this age, like, you don't really need to. He picked Bob. That's the thing. This guy was his successor in a sense. He knew that this guy was going to be the next in line, which I didn't plan out. Like, I don't feel like Bob Chapek had issues with certain things. He's had hiccups down the road. I don't think he was the worst CEO to like just have this power move happen right away.
Yeah, it's also, like, he was in there for a short amount of time.
Of time. He hasn't really. He comes from parks and operations. So we never really had a chance. Bob Iger came from ABC News. He knew how to deal with people. He knew how to, like, the politics around the world of celebrityism and just being there. And he had 30 years of that.
But it wasn't just ABC News though; it was the ABC network. So
Yes.
he at least had the background of like dealing with celebrities and stars and agents and contracts
We're
and all
close
of
with
that, right?
Frank Sinatra. Yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. I don't know. We all stopped and paused.
No, it was in his book. Did you not read his book?
No, I did not read
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's in his book.
Oh, cool.
Anyways,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna read the book.
you should. It was really good. He's a brilliant man, and you can tell that his love for Disney really it came from a place of that he cared about the brand itself. It wasn't. Obviously, he knew that he needed to make money to be successful, but he knew that the money would come if he invested in the right things. I think Chapek just saw it as like, can we cost cut here? Can we do this? Can we make changes like this? You look back at, a lot of companies go through this. Like you have Apple Retail, for example, that had Ron Johnson, who revolutionized what retail could be. And then his successor was John Browett, who...
I think it was Satan. I think
It was Satan, yeah. He came in 3 months in, cutting costs everywhere. You'd go to an Apple store or something, and it was like walking into just this really weird, bizarre place with like barely any employees. Everyone was miserable. And then you had Angela Earhart's come from Burberry. So yes, would it have been nice to get Ron Johnson back? But no, he was kind of past his prime. But now you look at Bob Iger, who never truly left, like you're saying, Anthony. Like he was still pretty much there, kind of watching everything just
a watcher.
flounder, and he's kind of come back in. Like I truly don't think that we really got anything from the Chapek era other than just bad press. Like there wasn't really
But
a project that he started or kind of got off the ground.
Yeah,
really.
and that's the thing, right? It's like we Disney's in a very interesting state right now. The parks have never been more expensive.
Yep.
But we're also like I don't know, like is like Anthony's saying, like you also kind of speculate, okay, like this was the board of directors decision, but it's also just like, okay, if Bob was like so readily available, if he was retired, I guess he would have said no, but maybe he saw that Disney was a state that he's like, no, I want to course correct from where I left off.
Yeah.
But you're also in a state where it's like, okay, he's coming in at the worst possible time. He's going into a pandemic, so obviously everything's going to be affected, and he's going to make moves that aren't going to be popular.
Right.
So I mean, we'll never really know what he was able to do. At least when you look at Michael Eisner, like he at least has stuff. He has movies and the parks to show for what he's did.
Right.
But he was also there for how long was Eisner there for? Right.
Yeah.
But like even Bob Chapek being in charge of parks, I think parks for the past, we'll say, 12 years have been so successful. I know it's the most expensive now, but that's like with everything. Like you can't even buy lettuce right now.
No, I know, but I also think the parks have benefited in the last 12 years from the decisions that Bob Iger has made, because it's like, oh, look at the biggest things that have come there: Avengers Campus, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. Just like he's been like the park side is benefiting from like the decisions Iger
is that
has.
Solely on Bob Iger, or is that on Bob Chapek, or is that on the other two dudes that actually brokered the deal between Star Wars and between George Lucas and Marvel? Because we can always say Bob Iger was like,
I guess Bob Iger gave like the thumbs up, thumbs up, like go do this, get this done. And then obviously we're admitting the biggest thing that Bob Iger did, bigger than Star Wars, bigger than Marvel. It's the Fox deal, which is like $70 billion or whatever.
Even
that got
keeping
done.
Tom Holland back as Spider-Man.
That's also more expensive than $70 billion.
I think it really, if you really want to know more about that Fox deal, you should you should watch on CNN. They did the Rupert Murdoch, the family stories.
Yeah,
and really, I think how he sold it and how, the whole thing, there was so much family animosity within one another.
Sure.
Like that Fox deal was such a crazy deal to begin with, because because it's very Succession. Like that, the story of Succession is based on this family. So I would say just watch that kind of like that documentary on how the Murdoch family became who they are, but just that Fox deal and how it became like one of the biggest deals of the 21st century. But like getting back to Bob Iger, I don't know if he's going to be the successor or the messiah that Disney needs. Also, Disney really didn't showcase that they needed, like Disney's very good at hiding right? They don't really share what's happening internally, like Warner Brothers or like Sony or like things that just spew out into the news.
Yeah, I think Disney has a handle on dealing with that, right?
So there's a lot of shit we don't know that's happening within the Disney world.
Sure, yeah.
And it's surprising because we always picture Disney as, you know, this is how you do shit. And it's surprising when you get rid of your CEO and then other people, because other people have been let go, and really the internal structure and what's really happening, what caused this to kind of like become something where people lose their jobs. But yeah, it's just it's strange because it's Disney. Like you think everything's perfect there, but it's not. But that's Disney putting that veil in front of you.
It's true.
Saying, hey, we're perfect all the time.
Yeah.
But shit, are you as bad as Warner Brothers? Or is that how
they control their press really well?
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's the thing, right?
Much better.
When Bob Iger was there, it's like you didn't like from when that Scarlett Johansson thing happened. I felt like that's all we were hearing for weeks, and it's like this is like this is like the first blunder of under Chapek's reign. So I think
that wouldn't have happened under Iger.
Yeah, but it's also scary because this is the first time you're in a role like this. The pandemic's happening. You don't know where at that time we didn't know what the hell was happening with the pandemic. It was pandemonium, and Bob's Chapek? Bob's Chapek's thought. Man, they should change names. Bob C.
This is your last name.
Bob C. Like he's
this is Chapek and Iger.
He decided to put Black Widow on
Disney Plus,
Plus, and you know the residuals of Disney Plus wasn't going to be what Scarlett, and he said like, oh well, you know, we're in a difficult time. He also was dealing with no parks open, no money, still paying
but
people
I think
at the same time.
I think the comment that they put out where they were like commenting on her character, and I even remember that being a big 100%. Thing where even like news people were just like, oh, like you never see press releases like this where it's like attacking them almost.
It was really attacking.
But the thing is, I guess just at the end of all this, it's like we never got to see Chapek at least come out of this, because we could have been like, oh, remember the first couple years under Bob Chapek?
Awful.
Look where we are now. But now just like look at this 2 awful years of him. That's all what, like, and not that it was all awful. I'm just saying like this is what he's going to be remembered of. He's not able to have a redemption.
Without Bob Chapek, we wouldn't have all these Marvel series that have happened, or like Disney, or like Disney Plus and everything. So there are things that he did good. There are things that he did bad, like the whole don't say gay rights and not gay bill in Florida. And we're not acknowledging it and just kind of like being ignorant about it, especially in his position. You can't be ignorant in that.
You cannot
world that he's in. But you know, literally they took him out to an empty room and he didn't leave. You know, there's a good fellow reference.
What reference?
You take him to an empty room and he doesn't. He's not coming. He's not leaving.
It's a good what reference? Sorry,
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas reference. I did a good, and then I thought there's a space. Fellas reference. I'm like, what's a fellas? But yes, I get it now. Goodfellas reference. Sorry. Cool. I think, you know, with Iger back now, it's gonna be a little bit smoother.
I don't think so.
Oh. Okay.
Truthfully, I think I think the world will go into a recession right now. I
didn't mean the whole world. I meant just
Disney. I think Disney, because the last thing that happened was Disney laying off people, right? That was the last big...
Right. Everyone is right now.
And that's everyone. And I don't think Bob Iger is going to be able to come out of this without having a lot of bumps down the road.
He's going to definitely have to put a lot of Band-Aids for sure.
It's going to take about 5 or 10 years. I think the board, because they're so heavily focused on making money, they don't care. And it's so funny because the board, these stockholders, the board of governors for Disney, they're so rich. It's like the rich of the rich, and it's just it's crazy.
That's all companies, right?
It's all companies, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's something that has to come. You have to come out of it. Like we're still getting over a pandemic,
right?
Which is the first of our kind.
Yeah. And you know what's so interesting? It's like, where is this going to factor into, like, with the next thing we're going to talk about, right? Like, I'm curious to see what the reaction is going to be to that.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting story because, you know, speaking of the Fox merger comes this big behemoth called Avatar 2. Avatar 2 is so expensive, it must become the 4th or 5th highest grossing film in history just to break even. This comes from Zach Sharf of Variety. How expensive is Avatar: The Way of Water? Early reports have claimed the production budget alone was in the $250 million range, but director James Cameron, Jimmy C, isn't willing to give a hard number just yet. The only answer Cameron would give about the sequel's budget when asked by GQ magazine was the following: very fucking expensive. Cameron apparently told Disney and 20th Century executives that his sequel budget was so high it represented the worst business case in movie history. According to the director's estimates, you have to be the third or fourth highest grossing film in history. That's your threshold. That's your break even. That's wild. We talked about this a little while ago too, that Cameron was even saying that he doesn't know if people are interested in the Avatar movies anymore, and he may not do a fourth and fifth one. It may just be a second and third. I'm curious where that's going to happen. But Anthony, please give me your thoughts on, like, what do you think about this ballooning budget, this way to get costs back, the environment that we're in right now? What do you think? And remember, Avatar 2 right now has a clear runway, just like Avatar 1 did, same time.
Yeah, no competition until Ant-Man, which is another Disney film.
In February.
So I just got to say, this is probably the best we've seen of James Cameron, because he's in a mentality right now where he doesn't give a fuck. And I like it. I like him because he's Canadian. And he's also very smart, and he's very passionate about what he makes.
He's a pioneer.
And he really hasn't made a bad thing. He hasn't made a bad film at all. Like, I would say his weakest film would have been
Terminator 2. You're right.
True Lies, and that's fantastic. Like, or maybe The Abyss. Everything he's made has been great.
So I was drinking water, but man, True Lies is amazing.
I know, but I'm just trying to think. Like,
it's only a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
everything he's given us,
failure.
But now it's like he's in this. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I will do what I want because I know what I envision, and he's always given us great things. And to look at it, this movie cost, we'll say $500 million, but that's $500 million over 10 years. And I don't know what the cost was spread out between Fox and what he was doing with Fox at the time.
And does this include the third movie? Because didn't they shoot both back to back?
I think this is just a second.
Right? So it's like, over 10 years, that's not bad. But again, this movie hasn't come out for 10 years. So investing, money into a movie that has yet to come out, it's a huge investment. But people believe in what he's done. People see what he's done. He's always come back with the biggest. Like, Avatar has no right being the fucking first #1 movie in terms of revenue.
Box office, yeah.
Like Titanic. These are stories that are just not stories that you think would have garnered that much money, and they do. And so he has this idea. People believe in him, and that's why they invest in him. So I don't know if this one will be come close to being the third or fourth or first. I don't know. I can't say. Do
you think we're going to hit $2 billion at least?
I think it'll hit close to $2 billion. I think so.
You think so?
Certain markets love Avatar, especially the European market.
Overseas, for sure.
Yeah. And they will see it over and over again. It's going to be an experience like no other, because I know, you guys went to go watch Avatar, the first one, a couple of months ago, and you were blown away. Yeah. And that's a 10.5-year movie, and
almost 13 years, dude.
13 years. And now we're coming out with, he's continuing with that technology. He's using those Sony cameras. He's using the dual lens, and he's
inventing this technology as it goes,
too, right? So
like our last, big $1 billion film was Top Gun Maverick, right? Yeah. Like, of this year, and then before
that's the only film that's hit $1 billion this year, right?
And then I guess Spider-Man: No Way Home would be the last one.
And Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that's why I pulled up the list for us. Spider-Man: No Way Home, $1.9 billion.
Yeah, so almost $2 billion.
That's the 6th grossing of all time.
And it was did that also include when they did the No Way Home Funner Man's edition?
The Funner Man's edition? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so, because I remember this being the cost, but maybe they did. I don't even think that really
I don't think it made a big dent, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's always been 1.9 for Spider-Man. So if Cameron is looking at Box Office Mojo like we are right now.
We are, yeah, he's looking at it too.
Is he looking at this and being, okay, I need to get to Titanic, or I need to get to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which is $2 billion. So you're telling me that Cameron's looking at this saying, I need to hit $2 billion. on this movie for it to break even. That's a huge undertaking.
It's
Again,
a lot.
I know Avatar made them a shit ton of money, right? They have Pandora World or like the Pandora at Magic Kingdom and everything. But
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. What did I call it?
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, yeah. So it's like you have to get to such a high number, but maybe Disney's been riding that coattail of Avatar and being like, listen, look at, but again, that was Fox who made that money, but they absorbed that. It's like, I don't understand how money works sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say you look very confused right now.
You know, I feel like Charlie.
You've been pointing at this graph at here, and I'm
James
like,
Cameron films, they pick up. They don't really start off strong.
No.
Yeah,
and
like-
then they pick up word of mouth.
So like, I'm just curious to see what this is going to look like over all this time.
I'm very curious.
Domestic opening for Avatar, it only made $77 million.
Yeah.
And then it went on to be this behemoth.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see if it's going to do it
because
again.
people got very curious about the film. I wonder if that curiosity still remains. Again, when it comes to Top Gun Maverick, I'm confident none of us assumed that it would make $1.5 billion.
We didn't even think it was going to be good.
Yes, I mean, like there you go, right? Like to be honest,
I'm saying the collective, like we as like
the world. It was like, was this sequel coming out late?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I get it, and it ended up making 1.5 billion. But it also, that was just crazy. It also had no competition really either.
I mean, it did have
It did, but like nothing. I think that was too crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it still had, like, you know, Doctor Strange had just come out. Like,
right?
It was opening up. It was going to June. That had Lightyear. It had a lot, and Jurassic World. Like, we thought that Top Gun was going to get eaten alive,
But it just pursued,
killed it, and it was constantly coming in number one. It's wild.
Right.
It came in number one, and
for like
ended
11
number
weeks.
one, right?
I think it was just crazy how long it was going for.
But I know it ended the summer as number one.
It did, yes.
When I think it was like this, everyone's like, yeah, let's all go watch it again so it can finish the summer as number one film of the summer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's wild. But yeah, like, I thought for sure, you know, like Lightyear and Jurassic Worlds, like, they came, but Top Gun remained.
Yes.
Because Top Gun was the end of May.
Yeah.
Lightyear and then Jurassic World came out a couple weeks after that. It's like they kept going. It kept going. They kept going.
And again,
kept
Lightyear
going.
didn't really do much box office wise. It also hit Disney Plus pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder, because obviously I'm very confident, and I'm sure you guys are too, that Avatar 2 is not under the same Disney Plus 45-day deal, obviously.
Hell to the no.
So that's going to be obviously not a thing. That movie is running its full course until February, probably staying in about 3,000 theaters until February.
I feel
even.
like James Cameron would like kill someone before
He'd light
putting it
the-
on
he'd
Disney
light it
Plus
on
45
fire,
days.
yeah.
He's like, this movie, we're not seeing like, this is my prediction. I don't think we're seeing Avatar on Disney Plus until February or March. That's
Of 2023.
2023. Yeah,
I would-
but not,
dude, I wouldn't even
You
be
guys looked at me like,
Well, I
what
would
month?
say,
I'm
like,
like,
yeah,
no, like
April.
next year.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it was like until the summer, like
Yeah.
closer to the summer.
The
Like
summer,
he would milk it.
Yeah.
It
so
depends. It depends,
hard.
but I feel like it's either going to line it up like, oh, like we're going to put it on there for like
But they
Earth
won't say
Day or
anything.
some shit like
they
that.
won't
Yeah,
say
no,
it though.
no,
They
no.
will never announce it because they want people to just keep going to the theaters. And I wonder, like, I don't think this movie is going to hit 2 billion. I would like to be wrong, obviously, and it's nothing personal. I just think that the way the world is right now,
The way the water, sorry.
the way the water, sorry, you're right. The way the world is right now, they just need to, they need something that's really going to surprise them, and curiosity may get the best of people to see, like, oh, okay. But I think they need something really groundbreaking, like Top Gun Maverick was that, where everyone was like, you have to go see this movie, and it's like, okay, why should I go see Top Gun Maverick? And then people went to go see it, and then that word of mouth kept spreading.
I think with Top Gun Maverick effect, again, it's something that people are going to study and try and make sense of. You can't. But I also just think there was such a fun factor to that movie.
Absolutely.
And when you look at, you know, the first Avengers film was that too in May in 2012. It's like people are like, oh my God, like these characters coming together for the first time. This is a really fun movie. We're going to go see it like crazy. And we've had films like that throughout history too. And then Spider-Man No Way Home obviously was the last one in December, where it's just like
Spider-Man No Way Home made the money because they had 3 Spider-Mans.
Exactly.
If it didn't have 3 Spider-Mans, it would have never made that money.
it would have made over $1 billion.
It would have
I
made over
would
$1
think it would have
billion.
made over $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean,
easily.
Far From Home.
In a pandemic?
Yeah, it's Spider-Man
for
still.
sure.
Spider-Man makes money.
The last Spider-Man didn't make over $1 billion.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
It's Sony's highest
Yeah.
performing movie
The
of all time.
Spider-Man
Far From Home.
Yeah.
It made
Yeah.
so much
Wasn't
money.
that great though.
But it was their highest
It was a
performing
good
film.
movie.
Yeah. with Mysterio.
Good.
Far From Home, you don't like it?
With Mysterio?
Yeah, I loved
Awesome.
it.
But
Okay,
like, no,
besides the point, it still made a lot of money.
It would have still made over $1 billion because it's still
Absolutely.
Marvel. It's still
Spider-Man.
The mystery behind it. People would have wanted to go see it. But yeah, the fact that there's 3 generations of Spider-Man in it pushed it there. I'm curious now that Avatar, when it first came out in 2009, it was a very early MCU year. Like, there was no MCU films in 2009, but we had Iron Man.
Just really Iron Man.
No, but Iron Man and Hulk came out in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Avatar came.
Oh, sorry, I meant before 2009.
No. So
sorry,
like, I had no in 2009. There wasn't.
No.
There was like, what was the biggest film that year? Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Sure.
You know, like, we had Avatar that came out and then went crazy all through 2010, just making a shit ton of money. But I'm really curious now that the world, like Anthony's saying, like, the world has changed. Like, we're in a different society now when it comes to the landscape of box office and Marvel MCU. Are people going to care about Avatar as much? I hope they do. But
it also is a 3 hour and 12-minute film.
Yeah.
Do people have that patience? You know, do you want to be taking your family for over 3 hours? Are you going to be repeat watching something that's over 3 hours? I understand that, you know,
but I mean,
good bang for your buck.
It
for
is
3 hours.
And
I don't
Endgame and No Way
disagree with
Home, 3 hour movies still too, right?
I absolutely agree, but those were also, they had that. You were following 20 plus movies, right?
But also Avatar, the first Avatar is almost 3 hours.
Almost
as well.
3 hours, 2 hours 40.
Yeah, so it's like we're close enough that it's like it's still a.
But it's another 30 minutes on top, which you feel. You feel 30 minutes.
Sure, but that 30 minutes is just the credits for how long this movie took to make.
Why though? Why did they do that?
Honestly, I honestly, it's such an interesting situation to be in with this film because I honestly have no idea.
I have no idea
where it's going to end out. I definitely think it's going to make over $1 billion. I think it's going to make its money. It's going to go crazy overseas. But I'm wondering how it's going to do here, and I hope it's well because I really do.
I think it'll do. I think it'll do over $1 billion, but I don't think it'll do $2 billion. But hey, I'm here to be surprised.
I think it will. I think it will
over $2 billion.
$2 billion.
I want like as James as
this
people
would be a
always
failure
say,
if it doesn't. Like, it would be a failure if it doesn't.
to James Cameron. It would be right.
Yeah, to James Cameron would, but I think to the world,
will not be happy.
Still be fine.
I think James Cameron is waiting for people to be like, yeah, like, don't doubt me again, because I will strangle you. You know what I mean? So
because based on what we've seen,
with the facts of the money,
we've only seen 2 trailers. This movie's 3 hours long, and those trailers are about 1 minute and 2 minutes.
Like 2
long.
minutes, yeah.
And
how much is in this movie?
Visually, what we saw, I think when we went to see it for the first time, we watched it in 3D.
The trailer,
we watched it in 3D, right? And then we watched it not in 3D. Visually, I think is the best looking film in terms of the CG. Like, this is like stuff that you would normally get, and you know those pre-animatics for video games, like they spend like
the blur ones, yeah.
Like, this is a full movie like that. Like, we've gone to that part of the animation where we can actually create photorealistic stuff on a consistent basis without sacrificing the CG. But it's also James Cameron, so there's going to be action sequences that are going to they're going to blow you away. Like, it's just going to, and it's James Cameron, there's going to be those sequences.
I just want to see it. That's what I'm so excited for now. I just want to see it now.
The issue, like Shay said, would be the 3 hour and 10 minute mark, as well as there's this connection with these blue people where it's hard to relate to them. It's this Pocahontas vibe. They're very focused on the world being, like, James Cameron being this environmentalist in a sense, and that's where a lot of the story is driven. And I don't know if people want to be thrown that in their face.
But I also, like, I know it's a long movie, but I also don't think like people care as much of a movie as long. They'll make complain afterwards.
I think they do.
No, but I don't think people are. Yeah, but I think we'll complain if it's long when we watch it. But I don't think someone's basing their decision to watch a movie of how long it is.
I think so.
You think people are saying, like, oh, I'm not going to watch Endgame because it's 3 hours?
Well, they'll watch Endgame, but they won't care about Endgame being 3 hours. But if, like, Avatar 2 is 3 hours, they're like, oh, okay, like, I like the first one, but do I want to sit to 3 hours of it?
People will say, oh, but Captain America's in Endgame.
Yeah.
He's going to do something cool. So I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
Also, there's 100 characters that I can watch.
But I'm just curious. Like, I'm really curious if that's a deciding factor for someone who's like, I don't want to watch it because of this. And how much is that going to affect the bottom line of the movie? I definitely think runtime is something that people do consider now, because one of the things that I keep hearing is like, movies too long. Movies are too long nowadays. And it's like, I personally, like, as long as you make it engaging, I don't care how long you make your movie. Right. We've watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, and
it's 4 hours long, and we enjoyed it 4.5 hours long.
But we also watch it at home.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
We watched it at home. We took breaks. We went pee 100 times. You know.
Yeah. So, but I'm curious. Like, I'm really curious. I'm like, in the success of Avatar 2. Oh, it's too long. I don't know if that's going to be like the factor for the box office is what I mean. Like, I don't think that's going to be the major player for whether it's going to make $2 billion or not. I think it's going to be, is this movie good or not?
Well, yeah.
It'll always come down to, if the movie's good, then people will sit through it.
Exactly. Right? It'll come down to that for sure. But I do think the runtime will play a factor for sure.
It'll come down to the movie podcast review of Avatar.
It will. Yeah, which you'll be able to hear sometime in December.
Very, very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I think Avatar is in a very interesting spot. I think one of the things that we've always discussed as well is I don't know anyone that's like a fan of Avatar in the sense that like their whole life is dedicated to it. Like, I know we all like Avatar, but I've never met somebody that's like, oh man, it's my number one movie, or like this is like my whole life is dedicated to Avatar. Like, I've never met an Avatar head.
The thing with Avatar is I look at a movie for its technical achievements and its directorial, because James Cameron is so involved with making. He's not a sit down director.
No.
He's shooting these shots,
right?
And that's what I like admire about him, because he's in the fucking mud with these people and the production team and all this stuff. Everything is so intricately made, and that's why I enjoy Avatar. I don't remember the character names. I sometimes
Jake Sully.
Yeah, and I forget the story, but it's
when was the
what
last time you
he's
watched
giving us is like, sorry?
When was the last time you watched it?
Oh, probably like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like, but
that's the thing, right? That's what I always wonder about.
What he gave us is something that we haven't experienced, and I'm so tired of the I know this is a sequel, but I'm so tired of the sequels, and I'm so tired of unoriginality.
This is a different sequel, right?
Yeah, it's a different sequel. This is a technical achievement, and I know it is, and it's going to probably win so many awards.
Pushing boundaries again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I'm at with Avatar. I want an experience where I haven't experienced it. I want the Star Wars of 1977 in 2023 right now. That's what I'm looking for in films.
But it's okay.
A couple weeks after.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's and that's why I'm thinking like people are going into this like shit, like this has been 15 years in the making. I want to see what he has. Oh, it's 3 hours, more bang for my buck, like you were saying. But I'm curious. I'm really curious just to see what it's going to do on the critic side, and I'm really curious to see what it's going to do on the movie podcast side, and then what I'm going to do with like the box office.
Yeah, I'm wondering if people are excited for this movie.
Are we saying over $100 million opening? Yes or no?
Yeah, over $100 million opening.
Are we saying over $150 $150
opening? Yes,
$150 million
I'll
opening.
put the 50 in.
You put the 50 million in?
No, just the 50.
Just the 50. Okay.
150 million is definitely doable.
Yes or no?
I think so.
I'm going to say yes.
Based on ticket sales and what people are saying, it's on trajectory to hit.
I think it's going to do 150 to 160.
Yeah, I think it'll do it.
Oh, look at Shay thinking. Not giving definitive answers.
Celebrate our Canadians. This is how we get James Cameron on our show.
James, dude, come on the show.
We always celebrate Canadians. We're big Canadian heads. Is that the term? No.
Canuck heads.
Big Canucks. Mother Canuckers.
What's the Canuck guy? The guy on the
Captain Canuck?
We're all Captain Canucks.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's see what Quentin Tarantino has to say about that, because Quentin Tarantino says Marvel actors like Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth are not real movie stars. Captain America is a star. Thor is a star. This is coming from Jason Garagio of Insiders. Jason, I'm sorry if I pronounced.
I thought you were going to say Jason Derulo. I'm like,
Jason Derulo. Quentin Tarantino doesn't believe there aren't any movie stars in Hollywood anymore, and a big reason for that, he says, is because of the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is you have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters. Tarantino said on the Two Bears One Cave podcast. I've never heard of that podcast. Two Bears, One Cave.
It's a really popular one, apparently. I've never listened to it, but
I've only ever heard the movie podcast, but that's just me. My only axe to grind against them is that they're the only things that seem to be made, he said, and they're the only things that seem to generate any kind of excitement amongst a fan base or even for the studio making them. That's what they're excited about. And so it's just the fact that they are the entire representation of this era of movies right now. There's really not much room for anything else. That's my problem. Tarantino admitted in the chat that he doesn't hate the MCU. It just would be nice if there were more options when going to the movies. Look, I used to collect Marvel comics like crazy when I was a kid, Tarantino said. There's an aspect that if these movies were coming out when I was in my 20s, I would totally be fucking happy and totally love them. I mean, they wouldn't be the only movies being made. They would be those movies amongst other movies. But, I'm almost 60, so yeah, no, I'm not as quite excited about them. I really didn't even want to touch on this story too much because it felt like it was just constant clickbait when you'd go on the internet. It was just you ask a big time director what their thoughts are on the MCU and you get this, and then people just run with it and they create their own narrative out of it. If you want me to be honest here, I don't think Tarantino's completely wrong. I think, the movie stars is a term of old Hollywood. I think that, isn't so much a thing anymore. And I'm glad we're at that pace now where it doesn't have to be the big leading action hero or actress in a movie to really garner the box office. It can be the story. It can be the studio behind it. It can be so many other things. So I'm glad that we're in a place where it doesn't have to be like that. Chris Evans has become a movie star in some ways, but yes, it's because of Captain America that he's so popular. Chris Hemsworth doesn't really do anything else other than Thor, because when he does, no one really kind of goes and shows up for it. So
what else? Like he's done other movies.
He's done other movies.
He's just not only done Thor.
No, for sure. Yeah. But when he does, no one really shows up for them. Right.
But also, yeah. I mean, it's I guess it's difficult because you also have people like Scarlett Johansson, who I think is an interesting comparison, and that's the thing when it comes down to his statement, he's not all wrong. No, but it's also just it's not always the case for every single actor. Not at all, right? And that's the thing.
You can't put a blanket statement on that.
Exactly, and I think that's where people take this and create these wars on the internet. God. I'm not fighting on anyone's side. No, of this, you know what I mean? I don't have an opinion on either way. I'm yes, it's true for some scenarios. No, it's not true for others.
Absolutely,
and that's the thing, right? It's I think the biggest issue is stop asking these people
that's the thing
all the time. It's let's poke the bear a little bit and let's get this clickbait.
Let's get Scorsese's view on this. Let's get Tarantino's view on this.
Tarantino is a phenomenal director. View. He's a genius.
Yeah,
but I'm also just
I don't care what his thoughts are on the MCU.
It's it doesn't matter to me. This isn't changing, and this is also such a thing that 99% of people aren't going to think about or even know that he said something. Right? That he said it on the 2 Bears 1K podcast. You know what I mean?
Which I'll have to check out.
Yeah,
but not before I check out the movie podcast first.
Yeah, but it's interesting though because it's like we said, it's not all false, it's not all true, it's somewhere in the middle.
It's his opinion.
It's in the middle. And also we're also in a year that we've been getting so many movies that are just the MCU. You know what I mean? My top 10 movies this year none of them are Marvel movies, essentially, right? There's except for Wakanda Forever, I would say, is in there, but it's you have such a diverse year in Hollywood, and it's we're only getting more diverse films, and they're going to streaming services or they're doing this, but it's also just a realization that people don't want to go to the theater unless they're seeing something that's worth their while.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I watched The Fabelmans yesterday. I'm really curious to see how The Fabelmans will do. That's an almost 3-hour movie. Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite movies of the year. Mm-hmm. But also, are people going to care about this movie? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what is this going to look like? We have options to watch all these different movies in all these different ways. Are people going to be stars because they're starring in streaming movies? But you're also seeing movie stars doing streaming movies too. And look at Stallone right now. Mm-hmm. This is Stallone's first TV series. He's doing Tall Sticking for Paramount Plus. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's I think the idea of what a movie star is has also evolved too. It's not just in movies. And you'll have directors like Scorsese, Tarantino, Guillermo del Toro doing their thing, but they're also doing stuff for the streaming services too.
Absolutely.
And for different various ways of making movies too. It's just not. Maybe people aren't making movies that people want to see, and I think that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah, Anthony.
I think I call it the Michael Jordan syndrome, and what I mean by that is there's more good actors out now than there were in the past, we'll say, and there's more actors and actresses.
Very true.
So when a movie back in the 70s, we'll say, Al Pacino, Dog Day Afternoon, people would go watch it because Al Pacino's in it.
Yeah. And there's also
that's
only
what
one other
sold-
movie playing in the theater
And that's
right
what
now.
sold the film. And he's, it's Al Pacino. I'm going to go watch him for his performance. Nowadays, you don't really look at that. You kind of like look at, I want to watch that character on screen. And he's right in the sense that movies are not marketed around the star. It's marketed around the character. But, do I want to see a Chris Evans play Captain America again? Yeah, because he's Captain America. But eventually someone else will play him and I will get over that. But Chris Evans will always be Captain America in my eyes. So there's this, he's right and he's also wrong, because I would always want to watch, in this case we'll say Michael Keaton as Batman, because we're going to see him as Batman. But it's a nostalgic thing. Like I said in the past, our world lives in nostalgia. We love living in the past. And Quentin Tarantino is, he's a genius. Like, that guy can name any single movie and who's in it and he's like beyond whatever I will be in terms of loving films. He loves films, and I appreciate that. And I do agree there are too many Marvel films this year. There's just too many Marvel. And for Marvel, someone who reads comics, I'm so overwhelmed with this. There's almost like a bad taste in my mouth with the amount of Marvel stuff. And it's coming across like, you're giving me too much now. Stop. And it's like a back and forth. Like, give me more. Don't give me more. Give me. And that's just the world we live in. But I feel like movies come out. There's movies, there's series, there's so much things to watch. I don't even want to watch anything at sometimes because it's just so much. But then you have amazing things that come out of it, like Wakanda Forever, I think, which is one of the best Marvel films in the past since Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah.
We're definitely drowning in content right now.
Drowning in content.
Everywhere. Everything.
Everywhere, yeah.
Like, streaming has taken off. Like, I don't remember my backlog of things to watch has never been bigger in life so far. Yeah. And one of the things I was insinuating in the beginning was that yes, we are at a point now where there's just so many actors out there. There's such a diverse group of people that it's not always the movie stars, quote unquote, that I'm going to go see. It's also now the quality of the films. Like, people are now really caring about the writing of these movies.
Yeah.
You're getting less shovelware kind of pushed out there, less of those movies that are like, okay, we're just gonna try to dominate the market here for this weekend and pump out some cheap $20 million movie to hopefully make $500 million. Mm-hmm. That era is kind of gone. That's moved to streaming now, if anything,
Yeah. Or you have studios like the A24s who are coming in and we're the kings of the small to mid-budget films.
Let's look at Everything Everywhere All at Once, for example.
Yeah.
That movie did so well box office wise, and it was word of mouth. And then again, Michelle Yeoh is the biggest name in that film.
But out of originality, that's the most
also Jamie Lee Curtis, sorry.
Most original film I've seen in the past 5 years.
And that's what got people interested, right?
There, but like, it's original. Like, that's something that you'll remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, will I remember Black Widow? No. Will I remember Top Gun? I remember I had fun with it, but in terms of originality, where it's like, holy shit, I've never seen this on screen before. Like, this is an experience. That's like that's the movie,
right? But we also have to. So I think we're getting off a little base here, because now we're talking about original films versus are they movie stars, right?
No, yeah.
So if we're looking at Everything Everywhere All at Once, I guess they're looking at this like, oh, like, is Tarantino considering that as well too? Like, I know he's saying the Marvelization, but it's like, okay, are people in this movie, like, are there movie stars in Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I think it's just the world talks a lot about the comic book world, and it's so strange because no one talked about the comic book world 10 years ago. No one gave a fuck.
The last 10 years, and even in Marvel, and that's why I always think about, like, Marvel gets a lot of like shit thrown at them. I love Marvel, but also, like, you have to think about like where Marvel started from, where they had to sell characters off because they were about to go bankrupt. Iron Man was like the biggest roll of the dice, and then they kept going and they found success. But it's like, and that's the thing. I'm so happy with the success of Marvel. I hope it's pushing other studios to treat their characters better. We don't have to name studios, but like, make better movies. And we've seen decisions that are being made to hopefully steer the ship properly.
Right.
But yeah, we're also in an era where it's like, like, we have Tom Cruise, we have George Clooney. I'm just going to name some male ones, like, off the top of my head, like Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, Nicole Kidman. There are movie stars, but those are also movie stars that I've known since like the 90s and the 2000s and now, and even like the 80s for a lot of them. There are actors now that I think are really big, but I think you kind of also have that status of movie star of being someone that you always known, because for a kid who's growing up watching the MCU, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, like these people are movie stars to them. They are huge celebrities to them, right? So it's like The Rock is a movie star. Like we've been in a room where people flock to him like crazy.
Yeah.
He's a movie star. Maybe people may not consider him a movie star, but he's a movie star.
No, he definitely is. And he embodies that movie star quality.
I think that idea of what a movie star is also dependent on what you like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Tarantino looks at some people too and be like, oh, they're movie stars. And I'd be like, I don't really care about that film, right?
For instance, even Django, the movie of Django, not his movie,
right,
but like Django, the original cowboy. He loves that film. He thinks it's fantastic. I've never seen it, but I'm just saying there's things that he's very particular about that he believes should be on a mantle, while there's, the rest of the population don't.
Right. And
it's just crazy.
It just comes down to like your perception of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of all it is.
But I also think that it's just his opinion. Like it doesn't like at the end of the day, like that's why this whole piece isn't really moving me too much, because it's his opinion, and you just, that's it. You just gotta take it for what it is. Like he believes in that, and that's fine. Like let him be. Like I don't give a shit.
It's like
it doesn't change my opinion.
Our people people get upset at our opinions all the time for stuff.
Yeah,
it's like
people are always like I hate Anthony. Fuck Anthony. Anthony's the worst.
For just smiling.
We got
wait. You smiled? Yeah. Hold on a second.
Well, we hear his smile.
Yeah, we heard his lips move.
No, but again, like we got hate this week for liking Wakanda Forever.
We
right?
did.
And it's like, what can you do?
We got hate for liking Rings of Power.
What was the
somebody said something along the lines of like, Disney, the Wakanda Forever is such an abortion of a movie.
Oh yeah.
They're using these guys that only have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm like, hey, listen, we have like hundreds of thousands of listeners.
First of all,
get fucked.
That man
from another podcast.
That was coming from another it was like an alt-right podcast.
It was. They also paid for Twitter Blue. Go fuck yourself.
You're stupid.
If you're paying $8 a month for verification, get out of here, man.
Get out of here, man.
And also, they pulled the ad. They pulled our ad. Sorry, I'm getting heated right now. They pulled our ad.
They pulled our ad. They pulled our ad.
They pulled the tweet.
They pulled our the tweet.
Okay,
like
so when you say they pulled our ad, it's like Disney removed our ad.
No, my apologies. Yeah. That person pulled that ad of Wakanda Forever with the quote from us from Facebook.
Yeah.
Like
the number one news leading
fucking site. Like their Google search was Facebook.
It's so funny. I love seeing that. But
again, I love seeing it too. We didn't interact obviously because we're gentlemen of Harvard.
Oh yeah, for sure. But again, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, why do you think that because we like something, it's wrong? Or you know what I mean? And it comes down to that. It's like there are opinions. We could have our own opinions. That's great. We have a lot of good friends who have shows and they like stuff. They don't like stuff. We like stuff. We don't like stuff. It doesn't matter because we're all opinions. You're not wrong. You're wrong if you call us out like a piece of shit that you are. Like you were on Twitter.
Yeah. Say his name. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know.
I actually don't know his name either.
Care. Like that's how much it came in my mind. I'm like,
fuck that dude. Like seriously. Like you're spending $8 a month right now for a blue check. You piece of shit.
I was contemplating. Should I get a blue check on mine? It's nice to have, but I don't want to pay $8.
Yeah,
but
we'll also make fun of you for doing it.
We would also make so much fun of you. For smiling as well.
Though. Yeah, but you pay for it.
Yeah, you're a verified piece of shit, though. That's the thing. Yeah.
I know we're a little off topic.
But again, it's opinions. At the end of the day, it's opinions. Have yours. Don't be an asshole. And move on. Don't be an asshole to other people for having theirs.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's an opinion, man. Like,
and I know like Simulu got a lot of hate for speaking out against it. Who cares what also his opinion is?
Yeah.
Everyone's just throwing out opinions out here.
God damn.
Opinion. The opinion podcast.
Anything else on this opinion piece?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Well, I got some quick updates for you. The first one, very sad. It really bummed me out when I saw it too. Jason David Frank, Power Rangers actor, dead at 49. The actor best known for portraying the Green and White Rangers on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has died. He was 49. The actor's rep, Justine Hunt, confirmed that the news in a statement to TV Line, writing, "Please respect the privacy of his family and friends during this horrible time as we come to terms with the loss of such a wonderful human being. He loved his family, friends, and fans very much. He will truly be missed." A cause of death has not been revealed, but reports indicate it was suicide. Man, I grew up watching Tommy. I was a big Power Rangers fan. I had everything Power Rangers, that costumes, toys, the movies, Turbo Turbo Power Rangers movie, I'm going to go watch in theaters. Mighty Morphin I had at home. I'd watch it all the time. You know, you look back at those movies, granted, they're not good movies, but they were just staples of their time. They taught me so much. And when I heard about this, I was just heartbroken because, you know, you heard a lot about what Jason David Frank was kind of going through, a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, and even came back to the show years later back as the Red Ranger when they did the whole Red Ranger series of like all the Red Rangers that showed up.
He was a Red Ranger?
He did a Red Ranger one, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know. I always saw him as a Green Ranger. Or
yeah, Green Ranger and White Ranger, but I think he did a Red Ranger one. I don't know. I feel like now I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'll look into that. But you know, he was just such a beacon of hope, and I think he did MMA fighting for a while too. Like, man, what a
he was
guy.
a martial artist at heart, right?
Yeah,
I think when it comes to Power Rangers, that is something that, you know, especially like kids from our generations will gravitate to, as like that is like those are our original Avengers type things. Like that's like the coolest shit that you've ever seen on TV. I'm like, man, we get to watch this. Like I watch it in the mornings, and it's like it's so cool. And again, as we always say, when it comes to people like this, you know, we have them in our homes. They feel like they're part of our family. So when you lose one, especially to suicide, it's heartbreaking. So that's why, you know, whenever we have something like this happen, you know, talk to your friends, talk to your family, reach out to your loved one, reach out to somebody you haven't spoken to a while, make sure they're okay, because you never know. You do never know, and just make sure you're there for someone.
Yeah, I can't find anything about that Red Ranger stuff, but I know he's done Red Ranger like before.
Oh, that's cool. No, I didn't know, because I always saw him as White Ranger, Green Ranger, and growing up, my staple was those two periods. I didn't continue with the Power Rangers after. I think when they did that fan thing, that was pretty cool. But yeah, the Green Ranger, to me, he was always like the chosen one. Like that's the Power Ranger. Because he had the long hair, and it was like the early 90s, and he had the flute. But he also had the girl. He had the Pink Ranger, and it's just like
Ashley Johnson. No, Ashley. What's her name again?
I think that's her name.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
But Ashley Johnson is
I know it's
Ellie in The Last of Us.
Yeah,
but he is red there.
He is red there. He was a Red Ranger.
He was Red Ranger. I know in Turbo Power Rangers he was Red Ranger.
But yeah, he just represented the cool. Like if I were to be any Power Ranger, I wanted to be Tommy. His name Tommy. B, it was like,
because that was a cool
never
name, right?
Fully part of the team. He was always like on the side, and when he showed up, it was end game for everyone. And he also had the cooler. He was the more unique.
Amy Jo Johnson. Sorry,
Amy Jo Johnson.
That's it.
He was also very unique
Canadian.
and very limited in the sense of his powers. Like he's a limited edition type of Power Ranger.
And he started off evil and then went nice.
Right. He was just like, I'm rebellious.
Yeah, Shay, in Turbo Power Rangers movie, he was Red.
He was Red Ranger. Yeah, that's because I remember watching that in theaters.
That's crazy. I didn't know he was a red. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad. You go through situations with your partner, and that leads to other things.
Yeah,
and, it sucks.
I think Daniel, you summed it up great there. Like you just if you're feeling it, man, just talk to everybody. Like kindness goes a long way, man. And like we try our best on this show to be kind, not even just about movies, but just people in general, except for that fucking dude who wrote that comment to us, though. Fuck him.
Anyone who fucking fucks with us.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. What I mean is that, like, it's true. Like, just kindness goes a long way. And I think you don't really know what people are going through, man.
Yeah.
You don't.
Tough.
You really don't. Hard pivot.
Yeah. But we're going to jump into some box office here. Cha-ching! Oh, my box office isn't loading for some reason. Okay. Daniel, do you mind
I'll take it
reading
from
it out? Yeah.
Marvel's Black Panther Wakanda Forever is having no trouble staying above the competition at the Thanksgiving box office, even handily trouncing fellow Disney release Strange Worlds. After bringing in $8.1 million on Thanksgiving, the superhero sequel exploded on Friday, adding $18.2 million more in ticket sales to its haul. Wakanda Forever is the only resounding box office success story this season, on target to push a beyond $350 million domestic gross through Sunday. Overall, it's been a fairly dire weekend for theaters. The 5-day frame is projected to net $125.4 million in ticket sales across all releases, down 12% from last year's Thanksgiving weekend, which had the additional handicap of arriving during a period of heightened COVID-19 precautions. This year's crop of films aren't connecting as strongly as offerings like last year, which included Encanto and House of Gucci.
I'm a little surprised there. Like, Encanto and House of Gucci, they're not box office
darlings.
Yes, darlings to me. I'm glad that Wakanda Forever is obviously doing well. It's interesting because Black Adam just hit digital release this week as well.
It did.
So, that's obviously going to affect its ticket sales, but I also don't think its ticket sales really were doing so much hotter in the last couple of weeks, especially once Wakanda Forever kind of showed up.
Right.
It's sad that the box office was down this year, considering this is the first year really everything is fully open. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but also, like, was there really anything that stood out? I think Fablemans would do strong. Fablemans,
but it's so interesting
limited.
that you have Strange World and nobody's gonna go see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Where it's like Strange World, I think from the get-go, I don't think really felt as appealing as something else did. As like Encanto did or Frozen did or anything like that.
No.
So it never didn't have that. And also like, I know it's so strange to say, when you're releasing a Disney animated film that's not a musical, I think you also have an uphill battle there too, because people you have the soundtrack that hits, people are going to go watch it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, look what Encanto did last year in November. It didn't kill it at the box office as much. It did well, but it wasn't until
it found its home on streaming.
We don't talk about Bruno, massive, right?
Absolutely.
Wakanda Forever has a clear path, and then guess what? It's Avatar season.
I'm trying to understand, like, the comment is Wakanda Forever is the only resounding box office success story this season. I'm like, but Top Gun was
this season.
This season, we're talking about like fall,
like the fall season.
Okay. We knew Wakanda was going to make tons of money.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to make as much as Black Panther, because now it dropped down significantly in the sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is its third weekend now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think what's interesting is that it's that comparison to Black Adam. Like Black Adam opening towards the end of October, it should have still had legs to carry itself into this Thanksgiving weekend, right? As a big Hollywood comic book film, but Black Panther really just took the air out of it and ran with it.
Yeah, and it's also we're in that mindset too, where it's like, if a movie doesn't hit $1 billion, it's not a success, which isn't the case at all.
I think
also
I think the world is.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of moved on from that now. We've all
Black Adam. It wasn't a good movie. Like, it just, and it wasn't just us. A lot of people felt the same way. And that's why it didn't make the money.
Yeah, it's like it's just the most fine movie for me. It's like, there's cool moments in it, but it's not one I'm itching to go back to. Like it's out on digital this week, like Shay was saying, and I'm like, I'm not buying it right now. Like, I'm not hungry to watch Black Adam. Where the Batman, I'm like, I'm spending $29.99 to watch it after 45 days at home.
Yeah.
What else we got?
That's how it is. But let's jump into some trailers. We got some trailers for Avatar 2, The Way of Water, Elemental, Inside, White Noise, Magic Mike's Last Dance, and John Wick 4, Chapter 4. I don't know. I just gave it
John Wick 4 Chapter 4.
Yeah, the weird naming convention. I'll be honest with you. John Wick 4. He's not a whore.
John Wick 4 looks great. It looks. Yeah. When I watch a trailer, I'm like, this looks really cool. This looks like John Wick 3. Yeah. It also looks like John Wick 2, and it also weirdly enough looks like John Wick 1.
Oh, I thought you were going to say.
But I'm excited for it though, because I love what Keanu does, and even though the third film was okay for me, like there were still moments where I was like, I wish this left more of an impact, like the first film did, or even the second film. I'm going to be there day one to watch it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm very excited for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, John Wick 4 looks cool. I hope it's good. Same as you, Daniel. 3 was just okay for me. I hope it doesn't run out of gas. I just make it cool. Make it fun action. That's it.
I think, like, I'm trying to remember the trailer because it's been a while. It takes place in Paris, so that's nice to see. Like, like anything that takes place out of the United States and in like older cities and have like action sequences, which is very expensive to do.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued by it.
Intriguing.
It's like, holy shit, they spent a lot of money. This is not CG. This is like
you have to be here.
They're going around that, what is it? The
Arc de Triomphe?
Yes. And they're fighting in the streets, and Donnie
he's on a horse shooting a gun too.
He's on a horse again.
That's
like
cool.
Put an eye patch on him, give him snake status. But yeah, like John Wick, we saw the Elemental trailer, which it's more of a teaser, and
it looks cute.
Cool. It looks cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting.
Great animation as always.
It's all about elements, so you have earth, wind, fire, and all that.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little upset about this movie because I did create a superhero in high school called Elemental. And
did you?
Yeah.
What was his powers?
That Powers of the Elements, dude.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's kind of lame.
Okay. So is the people in this movie, though.
Oh, you're insulting Disney.
No, I'm not.
Disney.
I'm insulting Pixar, actually. Earth, Fire, Wind, and Water.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know.
Yeah,
I love
Earth,
them.
Wind,
I
and
think
Fire.
it's going to be like a love
personally. Story where just they'll never be because they're so separate. You know,
I felt that. I feel that.
One's fire and one's water. They can never be together.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, we all have relationships like that.
Avatar trailer looked fantastic. Like even on a
Unreal.
like a 30-inch TV, it looked fucking.
What 30-inch TV are you watching?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's 30-inch TV, man.
No matter what you watch it on, it's gonna look great.
We all got like 55s and up. You
And
know?
I feel like it's probably going to be nominated for Best Picture, even though I don't care for awards. I'm just saying, like, the way they're pacing this movie and the way they are structuring this movie is for award season. It
I think
really is.
if there's going to be, so I think there's guaranteed 10 nominations. Again, we don't care about nominations here. But if we are going to see two big blockbusters there, I think it's either going to be Wakanda Forever and Avatar. And I think Top Gun Maverick may slip in there too. So I think this may be the year where we see multiple big blockbuster films back in the running for Best Picture.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love
it
to see the
should.
Batman there
There
too,
sh-
but I know it won't be there. But
There should be. That should always be the case. We can't always give it to, like, the small...
man, these indie movies, they don't need it. They don't
that. What do they need?
Because, like, when you think of Best Picture, you think of the movie that people went to go see. That's
Sure.
how Best Pictures are not. It's based on revenue. It's based on what people are talking. No one's talking about Nomadland. Even though people loved it, and it's a great film, sure, but no one talks about it. No one's gonna go back and watch that film.
Right.
Maybe, like, you know, the hoity-toities of Hollywood.
The hoity-toities of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Is that a drink?
The little bow ties.
Is that a Starbucks?
They have, like, monocles on their and they're watching these.
Wait. Now I don't even know what to
But, like,
imagine anymore.
kids-
I did not imagine.
Is the Monopoly Man
Yeah.
watching Nomadland?
I did not
They
expect
have their
a
top
hoity-toity.
Is there a Nomadland edition of Monopoly?
I don't think the movie did that well to do it.
But it makes sense because you're going like place to place on the board.
Oh,
Don't take my idea.
oh,
It's mine. It's mine. Blah, 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 blah. It's gone.
But, like, you need those blockbusters in the Best Picture. You have to. You can't always be period pieces. You can't always be critically acclaimed films. There has to be blockbuster films. And Top Gun, Wakanda Forever, and I'm pretty sure Avatar are going to be all those things.
Or else the hoity-toities are gonna get you.
But that's why you should put Academy, if you're listening, get the movie podcast inside the award nominations. We'll do, you know,
I'm
I
sure
don't know
no
what part,
hate will come from that.
I don't
at
know
all.
what
Yeah,
part of
no
One
one's
day
gonna
we'll
be
have
upset
it.
about that.
One day we'll have
We're gonna be producing
We're gonna,
awards.
I think the Golden Globe, you know how they have the Golden Globes, which is the
we don't-
Associated Press.
Yeah.
There will be something for our generation.
Yeah,
Or it's like fan voted type thing, like the Game Awards, but
the funnies,
But
the
not
funnies,
like, not like
potties.
nerdy.
Potties.
Like when I hear Game Awards, I hear it's going to be like this echelon of
Where they're like,
the
oh.
new generation
Yeah.
of journalism and
Sure.
what we do. I don't know what it constitutes. It will be part
Wait, is there an award show just called the Movie Awards?
of. Did
There
we
will be
just
now.
create that?
Damn, the Movie Awards, the movie by the movie podcast.
Magic Mike's Last Dance. Let's talk about how hot Salma Hayek looks and how hot Channing Tatum looks.
Channing Tatum took out his arsenal of dance
Dicks.
moves.
Oh,
he
sorry.
went back to Step Up and is now like, you know, like that old Channing Tatum
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah, he's upstroking for sure.
Yeah, upstrokes only.
Upstrokes only.
Yeah.
Interesting story. I feel like I've seen this story before.
I think it's inspired
Is
by the
Soderbergh
actual,
directing it?
Yes, it's also I believe inspired by the actual stage show that
Right.
they've been doing as well.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I've only seen the first one.
I haven't seen any of them.
I haven't
think-
seen any of them either.
No, I haven't
but I've
seen
seen
them.
Channing Tatum dance.
I've seen Channing Tatum dance. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't really seen them.
Watched Channing Tatum dance.
I've watched him dance. Yeah, well, I've seen Step Up.
Yeah.
Great movie for Step Up.
Yeah.
Step Up 18, not as great.
No,
But for
Step
Up,
Up, Step Down wasn't that good either.
Step Up, upstrokes. Step upstrokes only.
Upstrokes only.
Step upstrokes
The,
only.
the ska version of the movie. Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
awful dancing, by
Really?
the way. And just people like just going side to side. Step upstrokes only.
Some of the dudes have dreadlocks. You know,
A lot of white dudes with
a
dreadlocks.
lot of white
in it.
dudes with
Yeah.
dreadlocks. Not a lot of showering.
No.
Out this week we got Willow on D+, or as the kids call it, Disney Plus.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got Dobby and the Dead, which is also on Disney Plus, either Hulu or Stars, depending on where you're looking.
Or Star.
Oh, sorry, Star. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Stars is the other one. My
Yeah.
apologies. And then we have Three Pines on Amazon Prime. That's not the full name. Three Pines is the name.
Yeah.
But Three Pines will be on Amazon Prime.
The
Prime
amount
Video.
of times that we almost said 3 primes
Three primes.
Three primes when we were like going to
I called it something else.
Yeah.
The orchard.
You called it Two Oaks with me one time, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what
You know
the
Two
hell.
Oaks? Is that a hotel?
Yeah, I'm like, double oak tree. Yeah, you know, we watched Darby the Dead, we've seen Three Pines, and we watched Willow. So
Yeah.
Talk about those.
I think we could give our reactions to Willow. Darby and the Dead, I don't think we could say anything yet.
Right.
yeah,
Three Pines, I
can
think we
whisper.
could say thumbs up right now because I don't know. I don't think we can say anything yet.
Hey, let's just there we go. That's enough. But let's get into what we're watching. Anthony, let's start off with you because you're at the top of this list because the name of your name is Anthony.
So this week, you know, I've been working quite a bit, so there's a lot of edits, a lot of interviews. So I've been putting a lot of stuff in the background while I'm editing. So biggest thing, World Cup is happening right now. So I've been pretty much watching all the games, and they take place early enough for me to watch it. So I think games start around 5
in the morning.
5 in the morning. So I'm there for the 8 o'clock game and 11 and 2. I've been watching quite a bit of World Cup. Canada's in it, so I was able to. This is the first time in like 36 years Canada's been in the World Cup. So
And Italy hasn't.
and well, you know, you can't win all the championships, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, guys?
When you have enough championships, do you need more?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first time I'm able to like celebrate Canada rather than, because it's always been Italy, right? Italy. But this is the first time we get to celebrate Canada in the World Cup, and they had a great match against Belgium, which is the number 2 country. And I think in terms of soccer, rankings mean nothing because anyone can win the game.
Once you're there,
Anyone can
it's
win
like
the game.
anything can happen.
Yeah, it's Saudi Arabia beating Argentina.
Japan beating Germany.
Japan beating Germany, and then Costa Rica, which lost to Spain as of today, which is the Sunday, but you're listening to the Monday, just beat Japan. So it's like anyone can win. Anyone can win, and I'm super excited to see Canada play Croatia because there's a whole bunch of little bit of a controversy with what the coach said to the Canadian team about Croatia, just to kind of get them motivated. But anyways, I'm super excited to see that because I've never seen Team Canada play, and I've seen Team Canada play this year, but we've always been not the greatest, and we really showed
we showed that we belong there, right? We belong there.
And then I watched Andor, which I stopped editing, and I really focused on that show because I wanted to wait. Daniel's been telling me, you need to watch Andor, you need to watch Andor. So I said, you know what, I'll wait till they're all out, and I'm going to watch it back to back to back. And I really enjoyed watching it as a full set rather than waiting because you got the whole picture, and it was a fantastic show. Like, this is the Star Wars series that
You've been waiting for.
we've all been waiting for. George Lucas, his whole idea of building Star Wars was for those kids, but that was a different generation. You know, like kids in the 70s were, I want to say, they were more of children than they are now. You know, children grow up so fast now.
Yeah.
Like by 10, they were like adults. You know,
That's true.
The social media, the world, the internet, it just evolves them a lot faster. So this story really focusing for the adults and giving us like this HBO series, because that's what it felt like.
Right.
It felt like an HBO. There's not a lot of action happening. It's this really grounded story that's taking place in the Star Wars universe.
It's like a tense political thriller. That's how I describe it.
It sucks because, you know, Andor or Cassian, there's not much you can tell about him because his character passes. But what we're getting and the lead up to Rogue One is absolutely fantastic. We're diving into really dramatic experiences. There is no comedy in this. There's no fun, comical, laughable characters. There's no Baba Frank or Jar Jar. There's
Baba
Who the fuck is Baba Frank?
Baba Frank is the
Baba
guy
Frank.
from-
Baba Frank.
Baba
He said-
Frank.
He said Baba Frank though, right?
Bubba Uncle Frank. from
Baba
Home
Uncle.
Alone.
Did I say Baba Frank?
You said Baba Frank.
Bubba
Yeah.
Frank. Oh yeah,
Baba,
that guy from
Baba
Red.
Frank.
Like, it's everything that's taking place in this series is serious.
Yeah.
And that I like that because I'm in a more mature part of my life. I'm not always, you know me, I'm not a comedy guy.
Yeah, you're not funny at all.
not a
Yeah.
funny guy,
Oh,
no.
sorry. What were we talking about?
I am funny, but I just, it's not something that comes out of me. It just,
Comes inside of you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
you know,
Weird.
it just happens.
Yeah.
But anyways.
No, but I get it. Though you're right.
It's so
mature.
serious. And Gael plays this character.
Who?
Gael Garcia?
No, it would be Diego Luna.
Sorry, that's his partner, in the sense that in Spanish films and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Diego Luna plays this character in such, because he's.
No, I know, but Gale also was in Werewolves by Night. That's probably where you're getting confused from. I was trying to help you out there
because of the film from the past that
Y tu mama también.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
and they're partners. They produce everything together. But sorry, Diego Luna plays this character. It's so different than what we got from Rogue One. It's so much serious, and it's so he's so raw in this performance. In terms of playing Cassian Andor and going through the struggles, the trip you take with this character is absolutely crazy.
Cassian Andor is one of my favorite characters ever, if not my favorite Star Wars character.
They should have killed him.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
They should never.
They do though.
But now we know what he's building towards, and I think that's what makes his journey in the show so much more impactful.
Absolutely.
That throughout this entire series, he is put against the fence. He is literally fighting every single moment. He does something amazing, gets thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And he's now in jail. You get out, you get to the next thing, and then he finds out his mom dies. This show, I talk about it every week on Twitter with my reactions to it, is my favorite piece of Star Wars ever. This show, every single week, it could be even a quote unquote slower episode where it's there's no action happening, but I'm literally on the edge of my seat because the drama is so intense and I'm so gripped by what's happening. And then we have Andy Serkis who comes in, who again instantly becomes one of my favorite Star Wars characters as well too, because he is just so, you see the pain and the rawness and the anger inside of him. And when that episode ends, when Cassian asks him, he's asking throughout the whole episode, how many guards on duty? How many guards on duty? And he never answers. And then right as that other prisoner dies and they're walking away with their hands on their head, Cassian asks him, how many guards are on duty? And it's never more than 12. And the episode cuts. I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. He's playing young Snoke, right?
Yeah. Phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see where Andy Serkis pops up maybe down the road. Who knows? But this show's phenomenal, beginning to end. Watch it. I understand why people may be resistant to watching it in the sense of it's not. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's gripping and it's thrilling, but it's not like The Mandalorian, or it's not like something else where it's a lot more fun, focused, where it's who's going to show up type of thing. This is a beginning to end, a gripping drama. And the fact that it's set within the Star Wars world, it really makes you hate the Empire. It does a better job of showing the Empire than any other Star Wars film does. Where they're they're not just space Nazis. No, they're corrupt and they're evil to
they're relative to the world that we're living in today.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy. They're corrupt even in their own system. They're going against each other. It's just crazy.
It's phenomenal.
The best line is they're so proud. You will never see me come. They're so proud of who they are. I can walk in and they won't even recognize me.
Exactly.
And it's just wow, that makes sense. That's the Empire. They're so arrogant in their ways that even anyone can fall into getting into their system.
Yeah, no lightsabers in the show. No Jedi stuff.
And you miss none of that.
No, you don't need it.
You don't need it.
But it makes me really excited to rewatch Rogue One now.
Yeah,
and see it through the lens of this first season, and I cannot wait now for season 2.
Absolutely. You know what? This show for me, it was one of those ones that I wanted to wait for till it was done, like you, Anthony, because consuming it all together like that was such a much better experience for me. I felt so much more engaged because the show, it's so gripping in that 1 hour that it flies by that I was immediately
it hurted waiting for it every
it hurt it hurt so much
physical
so
pain. I
was okay with just kind of waiting till it all came out, because when I watched it all together, I was this is some of the best television I'm watching. Not just Star Wars. Fuck that. This is amazing. This is what I've always wanted. I've wanted that tense political thriller, that drama that almost could be something that you'd see exactly on HBO that Aaron Sorkin wrote or something. It's it was just so well done, so precise, and so clean. And the level of the effects in this show are shown to show the scale and the grandness of how everything is. But then you get down to it, and every character is such a small little cog in the machine of this giant galactic story.
Everyone that you're introduced to this series has a part to play. No one's just forgotten about. And talking about your reaction to the grandness, I think the production team and the set design, I think it's all UK based because it feels like something out of the 80s, like Alien
Absolutely.
and Blade Runner.
And they don't shoot on the volume or anything.
No.
right?
No,
So-
and it's all. I think the British know how to do really great set designs.
Yeah.
Especially with Star Wars, because it reminded me of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
From this, the original Star Wars. But I remember, Daniel, you wrote like a tweet with, all I see is like red lasers, or red. All I see is red, or something like that. And it was a reference to the sequence where the
Vader?
Luther. The
Stellan Skarsgård. Yeah.
Is it Luthor?
I think so.
Something like that. He has like the red friggin' the ship with the, we'll say, lightsaber beams that come out, and he just chops through these TIE fighters. Like, man, this is
Luthen. Yeah.
so good. And there are parts, there's hype parts. There's so much hype. I'm like, I need to be in this show right now.
They know.
I need to take
They know how to use those moments because it is such a cathartic release that you feel like you're exploding.
That prison break sequence was it was a ball of sweat.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, like
pounding.
I literally was scratching. I'm like, hey, keep going.
Yeah.
I need to just, like, please, like, let me get through this moment, because it was so good.
And then you see the payoff at the end with you see the after credit scene as well too.
Yes.
Like, we're building, like, we had a feeling like they're building
We
something for this.
We knew.
And then we see the Death Star and them building the gun and everything. It's like you're
It's
giving
so
such
good.
and this is what's interesting. This is what Marvel has been doing too with some of their films. It's like you're preemptively making a lot of your previous films better.
Yeah.
Because you're giving such such of a story behind things where it's like, oh, we're giving more of a reason behind this now, and
Right.
you're making this film better, or proactively making this.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But one of the scenes that really got me was when they escaped the prison, and Andy Serkis's character is like, I
don't
can't swim.
Yeah.
And you feel so bad.
He
for
got
him.
out though. He had to.
That's where I'm wondering. I'm like, is that it?
This poor guy, he was 240 days left
Yeah.
out of his sentence, and to only know that he was going to be sent back into it.
Yeah.
And to finally escape, and then realize that there's no real escape. They're on like they're in the middle of the ocean. They're on this oil rig, and I can't swim.
Yeah.
I can't get out. Man, it was so.
hurt.
I really hope he shows up in season 2. But
Yeah, he's phenomenal. What a
he
show!
was so
What a
good.
show.
What a show! I can't wait to watch it, like, beginning to end. Now
I'm gonna
like,
watch
you guys-
Rogue One again and then watch it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just so
Yeah,
excited.
for
It's
sure.
Tony
so good.
Gilroy killed it.
Tony
Killed it.
Gilroy, amazing.
He brought what made Bourne so good into the Star Wars world. That's what it needed this whole time.
And you get like the Star Wars characters, you get
Yeah.
the funny creatures, but you also get sex, and you get violence, and you get like tyranny and how evil that empire is, and you get manipulation.
Yeah.
And it's not told in like this childlike story. It's told in an adult story, and that's where I really connected with it.
Yeah, I mean, because we're dealing with like what we were saying when we first watched it. Like, you're getting themes of like enforcement, brutality, the corruption of the empire. Like, you're getting all of this, and you're like, oh, you're not just telling us that they're bad.
Yeah.
You're seeing.
You're
that they're
really
bad.
seeing it.
You're seeing these characters like Cyril and all these people. Like, damn,
Yeah.
like what, like why are you guys so
Yeah.
evil for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Andor, he's like, his character's so. He's a good person,
But he does
will
bad
do
things too,
Like, he
100%.
fucking point blank shot this guy in
Yeah,
the head.
it's the cost of the
He didn't
rebellion.
even give him a
right?
chance. He's like, I'm killing you.
Yeah.
He said, do you want to escape with me with this 40
Let's
million?
put this
He
money.
looked
Boom.
at him and he just shot him.
Pop,
Yeah.
pop.
Like, what?
And that's the thing, right? Like, and you see that when we were first introduced to Cassian in Rogue One, it's like this guy's like, oh, I can't climb this fence because of my leg or because of my arm or whatever, and Cassian's just like, doom, like,
pop.
like, and it's that's the selfishness of the rebellion as well too, where it's like we have the greater good that we're fighting for. If you're going to stop us or impede us from achieving freedom, we'll kill you. So it also shows like the rebels aren't great people. They're fighting for a good thing. And I like that we're seeing the class of that as well too with Mon Mothma, who I think all of her scenes were phenomenal as well too.
Oh, yeah.
So amazing.
They were so contained, her scenes, that you're like, they probably shot in one day, but it was like, my God.
There's a lot though. I don't know.
No.
I
You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow. Like, it's so small, but like, wow, you're so impactful.
One thing that I took away from that is we finally got to see like a real relationship in the Star Wars universe, like a wife and husband relationship.
Yeah.
Because you really don't see it. Like, you don't really see people married in Star Wars, right?
Not really, no.
We might see like Uncle.
Oh, what about Uncle Owen?
But like there's not much
Vaporized.
to that dynamic.
Yeah.
Where this one we actually see what a relationship looks like in the Star Wars universe.
In the
between
galaxy,
two.
yeah.
Like, do they have divorces? Do they like that? I kept thinking about that.
That's
Like,
what I kept wondering. I'm like, who's getting divorced in the Star Wars
'cause
world?
they have like certain traditions and how does it work? And
Right.
Are there affairs and
Right.
stuff like that?
Well,
like,
their affairs, all right.
but yeah, Mon
Mon Mothma.
Mothra, her
Babu Frick.
storyline.
Babu Frick? Damn.
But Mon Mothra, her storyline, like trying to fund the rebellion,
Yeah.
but find money and lose money, but now has to like, in the sense,
Like give her daughter
give
up.
her
like,
daughter away.
Crazy.
Because now she's like, she doesn't want her daughter to follow her traditions of the chandelier or
The chandeliers. Yeah. No, I
Chandeliers?
no, 100%.
It's just it's
You
it's
see,
so
and you see
good.
how she's trapped though. Even though she's a woman in a position of power, she's very much trapped. She's an owner.
Yeah, no
you
one's
know?
listening. No one cares about what she's saying. Even her daughter hates
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
It's
Even
a-
her daughter looks at her different. And
It's
I
an
was-
amazing show.
I was like, where does her daughter fit in this
No.
Star Wars universe? Because you don't know where her husband is.
No.
You don't know where her daughter is. Do they die?
And then
Do
you
they
see
not?
like, oh, who her cousin is and stuff like oh, like
Yeah.
they're connected. Love
Yeah.
it. So well made.
Daniel, you also have Andor and World Cup. Anything you want to share?
Andor
about that?
World Cup, I've been watching that. Also, you know, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. You could catch our review for that now too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's other stuff that I've been watching. There's been a lot of stuff that we've been watching, but
Mm-hmm.
everything that we've spoken about, I think we have a review out for. So I'm good. I'll forever hold my peace.
Good, thank God. No, I'm just kidding. I watched. You want to say anything else?
I watched The Fablemans.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the film?
I also rewatched Fablemans.
I like The Fablemans. It's a really, really, it's an interesting story. I didn't know much more. I didn't know much about, we'll say, Steven Spielberg's childhood. There's a lot of inspirational things that I take away from it, especially coming from that, like being a creative, but also having, you know, maybe parents who want you to do something else, but maybe a parent that sees your creativity. But there's also things I didn't know about, especially with his mom and stuff like that.
Right.
Probably really well shot. There are parts in the story that I still wonder, like, why did we need that in the sequence?
Right.
But there are sequences that are very, very well shot, especially with when he's editing the family film. And if you go watch it, there's this family film where we'll say Steven's character,
Stefan.
yeah, he's editing
Sammy's
he's editing this family film and he comes across a family secret, which is super shocking. It's really, really well shot. But I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't know much. Like I said, I didn't know much about Steven Spielberg, but I feel like I come away with so much about where he comes from as a director.
Right.
And you know, I don't know if it's Best Picture this year. I can't say that.
It's Andor. It's going to win Best Picture this year.
There's so many good films this year.
Absolutely.
Truthfully, but I like The Fablemans. It was a great story.
Yeah. For myself, I watched She's All That for the first time. It was a really fun movie. It was just so silly, so dumb, but like I just enjoyed it. I kind of want to go back and rewatch a bunch of the Tom Cruise movies that maybe I watched as a kid or haven't watched at all. So I watched The Firm. And I loved it. I thought it was
Great movie.
so
Yeah,
good.
love The Firm.
Yeah. Pearl, I finally watched as well.
Yo.
Tom Cruise is great in that too. Yeah.
Tom Cruise is not in it though, but he
I'm a
is great in it though.
star.
It's such a good movie. I love Pearl. I
Pearl is
absolutely fucking
fantastic.
love Pearl.
Yep.
Like what a great movie. Like Mia Goth, give her the awards
Yeah.
that we don't really care about.
10-minute.
Yeah.
Like
10-minute monologue.
That
My
monologue at
Lord.
the end had me shaken.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I know there were so many best actresses out there this year, but Mia Goth has to get a nomination.
Come on.
For 2 roles, she did. Sure,
Come
technically,
on.
like
3
she
roles,
did.
yeah.
But like, my Lord, she killed it this year.
She killed it. She was so good. I want to see her win stuff. Andor, of course, I watched, loved it. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special review is out for that. And so is our interview with Palm Clementif, who plays Mantis.
That was a fun time. She's great.
She's awesome. I had some messages saying, hey, did you guys record that at Cineplex? I'm like, yeah, we did. And if you listen to our interview, we talk about how we recorded that in a Cineplex.
We did, because we don't stop. The grind.
We
never
don't stop.
stops.
The grind doesn't stop. You know, we recorded in cars. We recorded in movie theaters. Where will we be recording next? Check your closets, check your garages.
Planes.
We could be in there.
Check your bedroom.
I don't think planes is too far off. I'm not even surprised.
Well, planes are high in the sky, so they are far off, Shay. God, this
no,
But how are we gonna
for
get? Like, how are we gonna
us.
do that, man?
Why?
What do you mean?
Plane.
What's up?
Are you complaining now? Sorry, that was I had to use a plane.
We can't.
pun.
We can't. The speed of a plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the signal.
Is our audio going to miss?
Yeah, are we talking
completely
too slow? Yeah. Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah, man. We're going too fast for our voices and the video to understand, to translate to a
Interesting.
sync. You don't know
Yeah.
these things, man.
Yeah, I think I know.
Anthony's a NASA scientist. Apparently, he
Yeah.
knows these.
You don't
things.
know that? For
Yeah,
real?
you don't know about the planes, eh?
You don't know about the plane and the syncing.
You know,
and
it
the
makes sense because every
videos.
time I remember talking to you guys on an airplane, it looks like our lip sync is not matching.
I'm finally understanding what you said on the plane before.
When we're
Sitting right now.
sitting next to each other, it's okay.
Okay.
When the video picks it up, you can't.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Satellites.
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 Yeah, satellites.
Yes, yes. Bermuda Triangle, yes. Well, as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, or we try to pump them out whenever Mondays are possible. But you know what the best part is, though? Every week you still get a little bit of Movie Podcast. You either get an interview, you either get a review, or you get a smile. One of the three will be coming towards you.
You're getting 2 interviews and 1 review this week. Maybe 3 interviews. Most likely 2.
And the Monday episode.
And the Monday episode.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of Movie Podcasts.
What else do you want from us? You want to chew us up and feed us to the poor?
I wasn't upset about it though. Are you upset?
That was from a thing. You want to chop me up and feed me to the poor?
Yeah, I know, but anyways, I'm gonna
Take us home,
Mondays. Yes, follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and join our Discord as well. Write into hello@themoviepodcast.ca. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast,
And we'll see you next.